Recently, I've been thinking on what makes a video game stand out from others. You could say that visuals and gameplay really make a game shine, and while you are mostly right, I would have to argue that music can heighten the experience of any game if done correctly. While music has been recognized more with time, I still believe that it doesn't get half of the spotlight as other parts of the game like writing and sound design. I'm not saying that those things have any less impact, but in fact the opposite. That's what makes music so special to me because it has such an impact that has changed the way that I value and analyze games. Not only does it give an emotional impact, but it also provides this connection that a lot of people can relate to and create a bond over something beautiful. The game that has made me think about this topic is Mother 3. While I could go on and on why I love this game to the moon and back, there is a common factor when you talk to someone on why they love this game: the music. From the happy-go-lucky music of running around to the main square to the slow but heart-wrenching feeling of losing a loved one, Mother 3 loves to make people feel through their music. Not only do they nail this feeling of hope falling through your fingers no matter how strong your grip, but also encourages you to feel what the main characters are feeling when maybe you haven't had a certain experience yourself. That doesn't mean the game is forcing you to feel a certain way, but to step into the shoes of someone struggling with loss, or maybe someone determined to find their purpose in life. It proves that music can have such an emotional effect that it can give you a chance to reflect on what the characters are feeling at a point in time without making it seem forced, or trying to buy your feelings with what you see with your eyes. Not that Mother 3 feels like it needs to grab you with its stunning graphics. This game is beautiful for a Game Boy Advance game, and it makes some AAA games look sad. But having music pull so much of the weight, it's easy for it to rely and focus on telling a story through your ears, instead of having cutscenes try to display what the characters are going through. Not only does this make the game more memorable, but it also enhances the connection the player gets when they hear a song that resonates with them, or a song that invokes those deep emotions to enrich the game that much more. While games don't always use music to grab your feelings, they sometimes use it to enhance the gameplay itself. An example of this is the game Payday 2. The act of robbing banks and art museums is exciting in itself, but the music turns it up to an 11 with its electric soundtrack. While you can attest that the music can be very loud and distracting and takes away from the core concept of trying to pull off a heist, I would have to argue that it adds this overwhelming urgency and stress that comes with the territory. Sure, the screaming people and police officers yelling and shooting has a hand in making you feel that way, but the eccentric techno big beat house music really adds in a way that supports the story by creating a go, don't stop feeling that makes the feeling of what you were doing that much more impactful. Even though Payday 2 doesn't have a rich storyline other than starting screens and the behind-the-scenes stuff you can find online, the music complements the storyline and enriches the storytelling by making the narrative more compelling. Let's play a little game. I'm gonna play some music and see if you can recognize where it comes from. Recognize any of those tunes? I bet you did. I believe that at least one of those songs resonated with you and that you recognized it the instant it played. That's not solely because you might have listened to that song over and over again, but that it has such an iconic and on-brand style that makes a person go, I know that song, even if they haven't played the game. Themes really tie into how successful a brand can be, and you can tell from songs played previously that those brands have such a strong identity because of their music. The main themes aren't the only thing that are familiar, but also the character themes. Nothing gets your adrenaline pumping more than seeing your rival walk down Nugget Bridge and hearing that anxiety-inducing music. I feel that those moments really build their character development and also build memorable moments that players can relate to and share common experiences. One thing that always makes music more impressive to me is the ability to always make advancements in its techniques and technology. I've been alive in a pretty lucky time where video game music has always been impressive in many different ways, but that's not to say it wasn't good when it was still developing. From the humble beginnings of Pong to the eccentric and bubbly Splatoon 3, music has expanded in such a way that makes looking at past music that much more exciting. Seeing advancements such as adaptive music where the soundtrack follows every move or input, or even having accessibility options for some people with hard of hearing or other impairments that make it hard to listen to music. These techniques have truly made video game music that much more impressive with different styles and changed the way people compose emotion and storytelling. While I've talked about video game music in this video, you might have shared some similar feelings with me, and that's very common for music in general. The great part about this subject is the cultural impact that it has on our lives and that we can connect on something so simple, even if you don't know me personally. Like movies and shows, we can feel these emotions together and share our experiences even if we feel something different. We all process and analyze things differently, so hearing how music may change someone's perspective might give you more insight and might change the way you view music in general. I can think of many conversations talking about how the Xenoblade series has one of the best soundtracks in the industry, and even while listening to it for hundreds of hours, I can still find listening to other people's experiences interesting. Not that they have a complete different opinion, but they've analyzed the music in such a different way that it can create a connection with me, and it fosters a sense of a shared experience that is easy to bond with other people. Even if we don't speak the same language, we can still find a way to connect and share how we really feel, and I think that is something so special. I hope that with this video I've shared my love for video game music and why it's truly important to me. Not only does it put the foundation for most games, but it's also the main reason why most video games do so well. I make it a point to listen to new soundtracks every so often, and I encourage you to do the same. You never know, you might just find your next favorite game without even playing it. I can't wait to hear your opinions in the comments down below and maybe hear about your experiences. I mean, that is the point of music, and if you hold it for yourself, you will never truly enjoy it. There isn't a lot of things in this world that everyone can agree on, but I believe, personally, that music and video games matter.